to address tonight. I do know that Mr. Newman called and said that he is delayed and on his way driving back from out of town, so I'm not sure if he'll make it before the end of the meeting or not. I've not heard from Ms. Darby. But we do have 3, so, oh, Ms. Darby's there. I didn't see you, Ms. Darby. I apologize. So we do have 4 members present. Okay, item number 1, request approval of cooperative endeavor agreement between Bowman's Grading and Asphalt Incorporated and Bossier Parish School Board for lacrosse field improvements at Parkway High School. Mr. Cottom.
Yes, ma'am. Chairperson Smith, Superintendent Rowland, committee members. This is sort of a follow-up from a previous, just information only that was brought to the board. Since that meeting, I've met with the individuals involved in this. So, to summarize this, there's a local organization called 318 LAX Booster Club that is supporting this lacrosse team, and it's primarily made up of Parkway students. So, the idea is to create a a lacrosse field on Parkway's campus, and their booster program would be paying for all the improvements. So it's improving the grass, setting up an overthrow net that catches any errant shots going into the farmland, pouring a sidewalk and a concrete section where the bleachers, they're going to relocate 2 sections of bleachers there. And so this request is just to get this cooperative endeavor between us and the contractor for him to do the work on our campus. Just some side notes here. You know, this is a spring sport, so they're looking to try to move forward with this this fall. And I do know we do have to submit this request to the state. There's some new, I think, guidelines past this summer, so we'll have to get that prior to, you know, the date of implementing our agreement. And I did provide a map, you see on page 2, it's just kind of a plan view of the just anticipated work. In the future, depending on the funding, they may add lights. That was probably the only other major large thing that they weren't sure if they were going to have funding for in the future, but that's possibly on the table.
And I guess this is according to, so their school's engineering director of maintenance, so everything will run through y'all as far as the placement and.
Yes, ma'am. We'll have to make sure everything's ADA compatible. You know, there's you know, the parking and access to the field. There's using the restrooms in the existing large field house there by the track. So we'll be coordinating everything. Everything have to go through us for approval.
Okay. Any board comments?
Madam Chairman, are you ready to entertain a motion on this?
Yes, sir, if there's no questions.
I'd like to recommend that, or make the motion that the committee recommend that we approve a cooperative endeavor agreement as presented by Mr. Cottom.
We have a motion. We have a second by Ms. Darby. Please vote by show of hands. Yes. Approved. Item number 2, request 318 LAX Boosters Facility Usage Agreement for Parkway High School across the field. Also, Mr. Cottom.
Yes, ma'am. So this is just a facility usage agreement. So this would allow us for this team to use the field under the agreement. And just a little background, they would be associated with the Louisiana High School Lacrosse League. Currently, there's about 20 teams. There's local teams. There's teams down south that they would be a part of, and pretty much practice after school. You know, home games will be held here, and then once we get approval, obviously, once this gets in order, we'll get all the paperwork from the whole harness agreement, and the insurance will be submitted prior to any approval usage.
I just have a question.
Yes,
so I know that they're participating in building the field, and then we'll have a facility usage with them. What if someone else wants to use the field, and who will be coordinating that since they're the ones who provided it?
That's a good question.
I would assume the school board, since we are the owner.
Yes, sir.
We may delegate that authority to the principal, but authority over the facilities will rest solely with the school system, 100%.
Well, if we enter into the cooperative endeavor agreement, then this group, Bowman's Grading, it'll actually be under their liability. Now, working out discrepancies and differences on scheduling events at that site, that'll fall back to the principal. But once we have the facility usage, we're not going to allow them just to monopolize the venue for play. What they're doing around it will be where their focus will be.
Yes. So I think it's just our normal process.
Okay.
That we kind of go through.
Okay. Any more discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, make the motion that we recommend the proposal as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Bullard, a second by Ms. Poole. Please vote. Motion passes. Number 3, request Apollo Elementary School professional services. Mr. Roget.
Good evening. Request number 3, Apollo. We're currently exploring to create additional room in the existing facility. We're asking for professional services to give us a preliminary schematic design and project cost to explore what that would cost. We're trying to create some additional room in the existing building by adding walls to the design to possibly, hopefully in the future, be able to do away with an aging modular building.
Motion to approve. Question. I do have a question as well. Just a moment, Ms. Doherty, please. Mr. Bullard.
Mr. Roget, if my old memory's fading, but if it serves me in this instance correctly, the idea of partitioning off space at Apollo has come up more than one time, particularly when we were, they had fully outgrown that structure, and we had the multiple temporary classrooms, which we all remember. We smile when we recall it because of the headaches. But again, if memory serves me correct, each time this proposal was floated, the faculty and administration at Apollo opposed it. They wanted to maintain the open classroom situation. Has that now changed, and they are we talking a complete redo of the entire interior so that we now have individual classrooms throughout, and we will do away totally with the open space?
Yes, sir. The concept is to do away with the open concept and go to a standard type classroom setting. As far as the past allocations of whether they wanted that or not, I'm not familiar with that. I've been working with staff, and they've all gravitated toward wanting to add walls to help them with their classrooms. I mean, if you notice, they're all trying to temporary put up barriers between each other and what have you.
Yes.
We're trying to make it more traditional so we have a conducive learning environment for the staff.
Yeah.
So these will be floored to ceiling walls, so State Farm Marshal and everything else is going
Yes,
to be
ma'am,
involved?
and that's why we're just asking to start coordinating with professional services, see what that looks like, and I gotta make sure I pass all the life safety codes, fire codes, and all that go with that, and so we need to see what that budget looks like, see if we wanna move forward with that project. We would bring it back for approval once we have more of an idea of what those costs look like.
Question,
Just-
Mr. Cochran?
Just to piggyback off of Mr. Bullard there, I did get a call from someone over there with the attaboy and go get it done kind of request, just so you know.
And I don't doubt that times have changed. This is going back to just prior to, and at the beginning of the bond issue in the initial construction projects, because we were looking at what could be done. You recall the assessment that
Yes, sir.
they went around and did?
Yes,
So I'm not advocating one way or the other. I'm wanting to make sure that you say you didn't get calls. Well, they didn't find your phone number. They certainly found mine. And times have changed.
Yes, sir.
And there's nothing wrong with what they're proposing. So I just don't want us to get into controversy with our faculty and staff.
No, sir. We always make sure we steer through administration and the principals for our projects.
Mr. Bertrand?
Is there a estimated number of classrooms that would come out of this?
At this time, we're looking somewhere around 10 to 12 additional classroom possibilities from just a preliminary sketch and measuring off. We have gave the principal the authority to try and, if maybe they don't want 2 full-size classrooms, to adapt, and so those classroom numbers could change.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We do have a motion on the table by Ms. Darby,
I'll second her motion.
second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 4, request 2025 HVAC replacement projects, professional services. Mr. Roget.
Yes, item number 4 is our yearly HVAC summer project. We need to get started on the professional services and designs for those projects coming up in the next summer, so we can go ahead and get orders and budgets and approvals from the board to proceed. We're projected to try and get TL Roads and Elm Grove Elementary, and depending on our budgets, if we could get a third, we will try and fit that in.
So that's for TL Roads and Platt and Elm Grove?
Yes, ma'am.
possibly? Okay. All right, any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'll make the motion that we recommend the Bossier Parish School Board authorize staff to pursue professional services for the 2025 HVAC replacement project, and want to commend Mr. Roget and his department. This program is doing well for us.
Yes, sir, thank you.
People probably don't realize the total cost involved, and you're doing it in a systematic manner that allows us to
Hopefully, in the
spread that
future, we'll be
cost.
able to do that on a systematic basis and keep you from getting
But
combined.
I'll make that motion.
So motion, a second by Ms. Poole. Please vote. Motion passes. Item number 5, request Bossier High School logo addition to Bossier Memorial Stadium turf field. Mr. Roget.
Okay, item number 5 is to add a B logo to the center field of the existing turf at Bossier High. This comes at a cost of $22,700.
Mr. Roget, in adding this, when was this field first completed, and what is the longevity of the field before it has to be replaced?
This field was completed in May of 2018. It comes with an 8-year warranty and maintenance agreement. It will be, that will end in 2026.
And, I mean, I don't really understand a whole lot about the fields, but are they an enveloped type system? Like if it was normally done from the start of the project, would it be a solid piece versus what is this going to do in cutting and then putting something else down and being 6 years old now? Is the turf going to match? Is the level of it going to match? Is it going to be something that's going to be midfield, that's going to be more prone to tearing, overexposure?
Okay, so what I know about this is that Geo Surfaces, who's completed 3 of our fields, they are familiar with this field, and they have matched the turf that comes with it, and the warranty will not be voided on this field. They will literally brush back the rubber inlay in the field, and they will shave it and glue the new inlay in and then put the rubber back on. So it should not appear to have been modified other than having the logo in its place.
I'll let someone else ask a question. I may have more in a minute. Any other discussion? Mr. Bertrand?
Right.
Mr. Roger, I know you've told us this before, but what is the average life of a turf field? Is
So-
it 8 years when the contract goes out? Does it last 10, 12? I know in Houghton, we put an upgraded field that had a longer life. Back then, is there any data that shows an average life of a field that was placed in 2018?
So the information that we have, because we don't have real life experience with the longevity yet of these fields, the information that we've been presented over the years with the manufacturers is this field has an 8-year warranty. They're saying that the lifespan is around 10 to 12 years, depending on use and maintenance of the field. Some fields go 14 years. I think that depends on a lot of different things, colors, the different colors fade at different rates, wear and tear on the field, how it's being used or how often, and also the maintenance on the field, is it being maintained properly? So we know the maintenance has been maintained properly, it's been maintained by the manufacturer for the last 6 years. So I can only go off of what we're being told by sales folks, that you have a warranty to here, it should last longer than the warranty. And like anything else we have, we run to failure, or close to failure. So if your tracks, your turf, we're past their warranty phases of most all of those things, and we continue to use them. So that's really the only information I have. I don't have real experience with how long. I haven't been here long enough with turf to know.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
They've already come out, you mentioned that they color matched and they're going to be able to do that. So I'm assuming we've met with those guys out there?
I had them go by and take a look at the field and get the information they needed.
Did they give any indication as to, hey, you're 50%, 60% as far as wear and tear? Did they allude to any kind of, hey, maybe you wouldn't want to do this at this point in time because we're already on the latter end of it, or like Ms. Smith pointed out, 6 years into it?
Right. They did not. At the beginning, they were alluding to wanting to know what type of field it was to see if they could even match the field. So we gave them the original documentation of the field, the matrix turf, and they were able to get a matching matrix turf. There's kind of a broker turf behind the scenes that turf people can get different kinds, and they were able to match that turf to make sure they don't void any warranties, is what they were concerned about.
And right now, it's just a blank spot, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Well, it's Bossier High School, and nothing's bigger than the B. You knew I had to say it, so got to have a B there.
Ms. Poole?
That was my question. If we knew how far along is this field holding up, typically according to the 10 to 12 years, maybe 14 years, and it was installed in 2018.
Yes.
So we're 6 years into that. But that's what I was going to say. There's nothing bigger than the B. Those kids, they were the first ones to get the turf, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I think, do all the other turf fields have their letter in the middle? Mr. Cottom's saying yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And, I want our Bossier High kids to have the same advantages of everything that we offer our other schools. And I know that that's been there for a while, but that was my question. And then Mr. Crocker asked the same question. Where are we at with the longevity of the field? Do you have any, looking at the field, Mr. Roger, do you have any kind of, do you see, I know that you're not the expert in the turf fields.
I walked the field last week for another project that I was looking at the stadium, and I did not see anything that would alarm me at this time. I didn't see
Okay.
any tears, fading to the naked eye. Field's gonna fade. Even in the
Right.
warranty, it allows for a 12%
Right.
fade over the years. So I just didn't see anything to the naked eye that seemed to be alarming.
Right. And they feel like they can match that to,
I'm sure it's like anything.
Right.
If you look hard enough, you may find something,
Right.
a tone of black different from the tone that's there, but
Right.
they said they can match the turf, warranty it, and not void the warranty, and that's the main
Right.
thing, I believe.
Okay. I just, of course, I'm an alumnus of Bossier High School, but it's not about me. It's about the students.
Yes, ma'am.
I spent 11 years of my career teaching at Russian in that district, and I just have a lot of former students. One reached out to me 2 weeks ago, not about about being in that school district, but I just, my heart is in that school district too. So
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bullard?
thank you for asking those questions. That was my question.
Mr. Bullard?
Mr. Roger, I note that there is no specified funding, or maybe Mr. Cottom.
There is no specified funding.
It's left blank on the document I have. What is the identified source of funding for this project?
There was 3 identifiable sources that I know of, and that was, I'm sorry, I got it right here somewhere. The remaining 2012 bond funds, committed construction funds, 2012 interest and premium revenue, or general maintenance fund.
Which one, has one been designated?
It has not. It's the board's pleasure.
Mr. Cottom, do you have a recommendation?
Mr. Bullard, I need to verify with Ms. Bamberg, but I'm showing we should have plenty money remaining in just the general bond funds that were allocated. There is, a little bit later tonight, the Houghton Turf Field, it came in lower than with allocated funds, so there's about $159,500. If you just think of that one project, that kind of goes back into the pot, so that would be one
Ms.
to me.
Ms. Bamberg, this would be your recommendation for funding of this project?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
And is there a representative from the school here tonight?
This request did not come through the school.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier, are there any other pressing needs that are on the table for Bossier High, to your knowledge?
The projects we're working on right now is the principal has us working on lighting under the stadium for safety concerns. It's really dim. There's not much lighting there. I think it's original light fixture holders there. So we're working on trying to upgrade the lighting under both sides of the stadium. That is a doable project. May cost a little bit because we have to run some conduit underneath that concrete base. And then, we're always looking to upgrade the stadium lighting. It's one of the few last stadiums in the parish that does not have LED lighting.
I noticed that when I was there at their game a couple of weeks ago that they were having scoreboard issues as well. I know you've been tracking that as well, trying to make sure that we find the kinks and get the bugs worked out so the scoreboard will continue to light up during the event.
Yes, sir. We have ordered new parts for that board to get it back functioning.
Mr. Bullard?
Did I understand you to say this request for this logo did not come from the administration at Bossier High School?
That's correct, sir.
Who did it come from?
It came from board member.
Okay. Madam Chairman, I'm going to make a recommendation. We table this matter until we can hear from the principal and the person that has recommended this project.
Okay. We have a motion to table. So no action tonight on that item. Any other discussion? Meeting adjourned.